Food care forms an important aspect of comprehensive management of patients with type 2 diabetes. Evaluation of a patient with type 2 diabetes should also include a food examination and obtaining a history of ulceration, amputation, angioplasty or vascular surgery, history of cigarette smoking, and the current symptoms, if any, such as neuropathy, that is pain, burning or numbness, or a vascular disease with history of leg fatigue or claudication pain. Examination of foot includes inspection of the skin, assessment of foot for deformities, neurological assessment and vascular assessment, including checking distal peripheral pulses of legs and feet. Neurological assessment includes checking for temperature and pinprick sensation, small fiber function and vibration sensation using a 128 Hz tuning fork for large fiber function. All patients should have a annual 10 gauge monofilament testing to identify the feet at risk for ulceration or amputation. The Wagner classification of diabetic foot shows the various stages of a progression of a diabetic ulcer. Grade 1 is a high risk foot without ulcer and intact skin may have neuropathy or loss of blood supply. Grade 2 is having a superficial ulcer. Grade 3 is a deep ulcer involving a tendon or a ligament. Grade 4 is osteomyelitis or an abscess formation. Grade 5 is gangrene of forefoot, and grade 6 is gangrene of the entire foot. Examination includes palpation of the dorsalis pedis and palpation of the posterior tibial artery. Dorsalis pedis palpation is medial to the extensor hallux longus tendon, and palpation of posterior tibial artery is just below the medial malleolus. Monofilament examination, here picture depicts the sites on the plantar aspect where we examine using monofilament, and in the dorsum there is one site. In monofilament examination, patient should close the eyes. We should instruct the patients to tell when he or she feels the monofilament at each of the 10 sites. With the monofilament held in our hand, we touch the specific sites, each of the 10 sites, applying sufficient force such that the monofilament bends, and to hold for 1 to 2 seconds and then release. The patient should tell us whether he or she feels the monofilament at each of these sites, including the plantar and the dorsum. Mark the areas of foot using a positive sign if the patient can feel the monofilament, and a negative sign if he cannot feel the monofilament. If the monofilament is not felt in an area on the foot, this indicates that the patient has loss of protective sensation in that area, and requires close follow-up and referral. All the patients should be assessed for diabetic peripheral neuropathy starting at the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes and at least annually from there on. And patients with evidence of sensory loss and prior ulceration or amputation should have their feet inspected during every visit. We have to provide general preventive foot self-care examination to all the patients with type 2 diabetes. Advice to patients on self-care would be inspect one's foot daily for ulcers, change in skin color. Daily wash the foot with lukewarm water and soap. Completely dry the foot after washing. Avoid manipulation of the callus if any present. Avoid barefoot walking. Prefer using a footwear always. Cut toenails. Prevent ingrowing of nails, and to report to your doctor in case of development of loss of sensation, discoloration, development of pain, ulcer or edema. Treatment of diabetic foot would be daily cleaning and dressing of the wound. Antibiotics if the patient has evidence of active infection such as cellulitis or visibly infected wounds. Surgical consultation if debridement is warranted, and the use of specialized therapeutic footwear is recommended for high risk patients such as patients with severe neuropathy, foot deformities, ulcers, callus, poor peripheral circulation and history of amputation. The choice of antibiotic. Not all patients with diabetic ulcers require antibiotics. Certain features suggest active infection such as erythema, edema, warmth, pain, purulent discharge, serous exudate, delayed healing, friable granulation tissue, discolored granulation tissue, foul smelling, foul odor may suggest that there is an active infection which is going on. So, once active infection is suspected, an empiric regimen should always include antibiotics for strains of Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, gram-negative bacilli, MRSA, Pseudomonas and anaerobes. In mild infections, patient can be treated on a OPD basis at the PHC level. Drugs commonly used are Augmentin, amoxiclavulinate 875 and 125 milligram orally Q 12th hourly, clindamycin 300 to 450 milligram orally 3 times to 4 times a day, dicloxacillin 500 milligram OD 4 times a day, levofloxacin 750 milligram per day OD, Septran 1 to 2 tablets twice a day. These drugs may be given for a duration of 1 to 2 weeks based on the response. In some cases may have to be extended to a duration of 4 weeks. In moderate to severe infections, IV antibiotics are preferred and may warrant a in-hospital care. When do you refer patients with foot ulcers or abnormalities in foot examination? Patients with symptoms of claudication or decreased or absent peripheral pulses should be referred for ankle brachial pressure index and for further vascular assessment. And patients who have had history of smoking or continue to smoke, or who had history of prior lower extremity complications, loss of protective sensation as evidenced by monofilament testing, structural abnormalities or peripheral arterial diseases are to be referred to a foot care specialist. Thank you.